I know you're out there behind the glass watching me like I'm some sort of caged animal. Do people really think that putting animals in cages will make them less wild? If so, why do so many animal attacks happen at zoos? Makes you wonder if the cages aren't the real problem. I know what you're doing. You're leaving me in here hoping I'll just start spilling my guts and talking about what happened on the bridge. I'm not going to do that. Y'all wouldn't even get it. Everyone has a breaking point. You give, and you give, and you take it, and you take it until finally you just... I didn't know that guy. I'd never even seen him before. He was just some guy. Except he wasn't. He was a person. He was a human being. He had friends and a family and a job and dreams, struggles. He was a person. Now, when Officer Course pulled him over for a busted taillight, I'm sure he didn't think he was going to kill him. But when he saw that black skin wrapped in a gay pride tank top, I think he kind of lost it a little bit. I can relate. When I saw him beating that guy on the ground, pummeling him with that nightstick, I kind of lost it too. Corey and I first started working together about 3 years ago. He wasn't the best cop I'd ever worked with, but he wasn't the worst either. He grew up in some hick town in Ohio with some seriously fucked up ideas about the world. And I know he wanted to call me a nigger to my face, but hell, I assume all white people want to do that. But Corey once pulled a 300-pound guy off of me who was hopped up on PCP. I mean, he didn't do it by himself, but he definitely led the charge. People are funny. No one is all bad or all good for that matter. And everyone has some sort of rage that they keep buried. Corey saw that guy, couldn't keep his rage buried any longer. And when I saw him killing that guy, I couldn't contain my rage either. I rushed him and pinned him to the guardrail on the edge of the bridge. He started screaming at me, "What the fuck are you doing, Barnes? He's a fucking faggot. Just look at him. He's a goddamn queer." Then he got real quiet. First, I thought it was raining because I saw these little tiny drops of water falling onto his forehead. Then I realized it wasn't rain. I was crying. I haven't cried in 11 years. I didn't cry at my father's funeral, or when my cousin told me she'd been raped. I didn't cry over the 1,000 times a black man had been killed by racist cops. Corey was looking up at me like a 6-year-old who knew he was in trouble, like he knew what was coming next. But in that moment, I didn't see a bigot cop. I saw the kid in 10th grade geometry who used to call me a homo every time I walked past his desk. And the girl I took to prom who laughed at me because I couldn't get it up for her. And the guy who refused to go out with me because only self-hating Uncle Toms go back and police the neighborhoods that made them. They're why I joined the force. They're why I had to prove that I was a man. Because when you're black and blue and pink, still not enough. Not black enough. Not gay enough. Not loyal to your community. But see, I don't just have one community. I mean, where was the black community when my place got robbed? And where was the gay community when my college roommate got jumped coming out of a leather bar? See, that's the thing. Everybody talks about wanting honesty, but they rarely give it. They leave you out here on your own. So, when the police department accepted me, I felt like I finally had a home. Like I knew someone had my back. We're not perfect, but we're a shit ton better than all these fuckers out here trying to destroy everything. Rapists and drug dealers and murderers. Of course, shouldn't have pulled that guy out of that car. He shouldn't have thrown him to the ground. He shouldn't have called him a faggot, and he shouldn't have tried to get back up after I bashed his head against that rail. I told him to stay down. He didn't listen. So I hit him again, and I threw him over. He stayed down. I'm a man. I'm a goddamn man, and nobody's gonna call me a nigga or a faggot or an Uncle Tom. That guy should have been riding around at night with a busted tail light. And Corey shouldn't have put his hands on him, and I should have called out sick tonight. But this is just between us, right? I mean, we're all brothers here. Brothers in blue.